here with Elify, joined by my business partner, Guy Toole. We're co-founders here at Elify, and we want to welcome you with to Friday with the Founders. So a few things before we get started. We want to encourage you guys to participate in this Friday with the Founders. You can use the reactions within Zoom to raise your hand if you want to join the conversation. There's also a chat in Zoom. You can go on ahead and put in your chat messages there as well. If you have a question, a tip, a trick, a comment, we want and encourage that participation as well. This is live on Zoom, so feel free if you're watching on Zoom to throw that in the comments there as well. I also encourage you, if you are joining us here on the Zoom, feel free to let us know where you're calling in or joining from. We'd love to hear from you, and hopefully it's nice weather where you're at. I'm joining from Colorado, and I know, Guy, you're up north in Colorado as well. And it's going to be a beautiful day and a nice weekend. Also, throw in your digital business card, or if you're using your QR codes, you can go ahead and put those on the screen as well. We want to encourage digital networking. This is what this is all about. It's about creating a community. So Anna, thanks for commenting that. Hopefully everything in Wiggins is going well. And I'm sure you guys are getting great weather, right? Blowing away. I know that's the only thing we're having right now is a little bit of wind. With that being said, if you've brought a guest today, if you came and you brought somebody in, go on ahead and introduce them in the chat or raise your hand, and you're welcome to introduce them to everybody in the community. And let's go on ahead and get started, Guy. Right now, we want to talk about all things Elify. And I think this is the perfect spot, Friday with the Founders, where we can get together and we can talk all things Elify. The biggest thing is maybe you're new to this and you don't know what Elify is. So Elify is a mashup between elevating and simplifying. And our mantra is we want to elevate your business and simplify your life. And really, it's about bringing technology to the market that can help you do just that. Guy, you and I both know, and we've been doing this for about a decade now, that we have these awesome supercomputers in our pocket. And all too often, we see people using them for entertainment purposes, when really they could be leveraging them to support and help them grow their business, get in front of their audience, do all these amazing things. And this is one of the reasons why we created Elify. We wanted to create solutions that would help people promote themselves, connect with other people, generate prospects, close or convert more of those prospects and those leads, and really boost their revenue generation, all with simple and easy to use technology. And so that's what we're going to be talking about on today's call. We'll talk a little bit about the solutions, about how the solutions can benefit you, how the solutions can benefit others, and how we're on a mission to really spread Elify around the world. Get these solutions in the hands of as many people as possible. So with that being said, Guy, I'm going to throw it over to you to add any comments, or again, if you're joining us and you want to contribute to the conversation, feel free to raise your hand or put it in the chat.
To expand on this, it really goes into the digital expansion, digital revolution. The time is now, the time is here. Technology has allowed basically everyone to do whatever you want from anywhere in the world. We're right here, we're meeting, everyone's all over the country. People watch this in replay all over the world. And it's exciting to say that technology has allowed us to do this. Technology will continue to evolve. And that's where we really love the ability to bring solutions that are evolving people's marketing, people's branding, getting information out to others that need to know about you. Because with technology also comes complexity. There's so many new businesses and technologies that are released every day that can spread like wildfire, but then there's excitement about them and then it fleets away. And we want to make sure that we continue to bring exciting things to the application and to what Elify can offer to anyone and everyone. When we talk digital expansion, it's getting that information out. We've talked many times ad nauseum about a business card and why digital is the way to go with a business card. QR codes. QR codes have been around for a long time, but haven't really been utilized in the States to their full power until these last couple years. NFC is something fairly new. It's been around for a while, but it's now getting that exposure that QR codes were getting a few years ago. And understanding that more and more of these types of technologies are going to be coming about. And we love that we can bring them to one central platform where you can do it all from one place. You don't have to have my QR software, my tap software. And if I have my tap software, I have to figure out how to write it, how to potentially code it, have a page that it's going to go to. It can all be utilized within Elify. So that's just a big emphasis on time is now. Technology is here. It's not going to go away unless, to Elon Musk's aspect, if we get into where AI is so intelligent that it sort of overthrows humans and we go back in time, there's a potential. It's scary, but making sure that we keep a handle on it and can utilize all of this to effectively impact anyone and everyone in business around the world.
Yeah, I think that's so important, Guy, when you talk about this. And one of the big things behind Elify is making technology accessible. You talked about, there's all these bleeding edge tools, as they call it, coming into the marketplace at all times. And we can use this stuff that's happening during the digital revolution to support ourselves, our daily functions, our brands, our promotion, our revenue generation, et cetera, because big businesses are doing this all the time, but they have the capital budgets to support that and to support really leaning into bleeding edge technology. But for the average everyday small business owner, entrepreneur, work at home professional, et cetera, leveraging new technology is sometimes a cumbersome task and activity. Guy, to your point, you may have to cobble together different technology solutions. You may have to go out and figure out what pieces you have to build yourself. And for the average everyday person, that sometimes is an insurmountable goal. So one of the missions for us is how do you simplify and scale down those cutting edge technologies to make them available to a lot of people. And look, Elify is not trying to be all things to all people, right? And nor are our solutions. But what we're looking at is how can we make these accessible to everybody? You mentioned things like digital business card. You have an option on a digital business card. You can create a web page. You have to go out and find a URL, a host, a page creator, all of these steps, or you can come into Shuffle and spin up a digital business card in under 10 minutes and continue to optimize the way that you edit and build that card. Same thing with QR codes. Recently in the Super Bowl that we saw earlier this year, that was probably one of the #1 marketing tools that was used in an ad that companies are paying millions of dollars to put in front of their audience. And it was a QR code that bounced on the screen. Think about it. If they're investing millions of dollars for 30-second ads to use QR codes, how can you leverage QR technology in your business? You mentioned some of the new bleeding edge technology like NFC. Again, you can go out and buy NFC technology from third-party vendors, find a reader-writer app, build pages, and sort of put it all together. But that takes a level of expertise that a majority of people don't have. So if you can make it accessible and empower and enable other people to use that, you really help everybody move forward in this digital revolution. And I think that's what Elify is all about. So when we talk about Shuffle as an Elify solution, we're really talking about two sides of the coin. We're talking about the networking side of most business, and we're talking about the marketing side of business. Those two components and how they play a role in supporting revenue generation in your business. On the networking side, Guy, you mentioned it, digital business cards, right? And I'm going to pass it over to you to talk a little bit about the data on traditional business cards, but you've got digital business cards and you've got relationship management. And we all have heard your network is your net worth. In any type of business, you're out there generating new prospects and you're managing those relationships. But if you don't have a tool that does both of those things, right? There are a lot of managed relationship tools out there, big CRMs, robust CRMs. But what about generating new relationships? So Guy, I'm going to throw it over to you to talk a little bit about, the old analog version that we've all come across, the traditional business card versus the digital business card.
And why the business card? To that whole point, CRMs are out there, and there's some massive ones. There's a light one within Elify, which I think covers 99% of what 99% of people are looking for. Yeah. But there's massive ones out there. And how are you filling up those pipelines to be able to have contacts, clients, customers, to be able to keep in touch with and have information to make sure that you're building those relationships? You've got to be able to drive them in somehow. And Shuffle is a phenomenal tool to be able to reach out and gain more customers, clients. And the business card, we see it every day. We've seen it. And why we leaned into the business card is basically going to the networking aspect. There's the old antiquated way. We were invited to networking events years ago. And it was make sure you bring a stack of your business cards so you can hand those out. There's a simpler way to do that. People aren't going to be holding on to your business card all the time to be able to refer you business. There's a higher likelihood that if something can be captured and held within an application on your phone, which most likely you take everywhere with you, and if you forgot it, you're going to drive however long back to your home to get it, or office, whatever that is. But business cards are so important because they're identified as the #1 marketing collateral in the world. That's what people identify as their introduction. And from the antiquated paper business cards, there's still value to them. I'm not going to say that there's not, but there's just a simpler, easier way. But 27 million business cards printed a day, that's over 10 billion a year. These statistics, anyone can go out and read about, and that they've been lingering with these exact same numbers for a long time. In fact, they've actually increased over the last 10 years on how many cards are printed a day, because people are changing their phone numbers more often, their emails, their positions are changing at their jobs, and being able to stay on top of that, but not have to pay, a couple $100 to get some new business cards reprinted for me. And knowing that when I hand those out anyways, there's lost opportunity. 90% of those end up in the trash in the first week. People might put them in their pocket and they go home and they do their laundry, and it comes out and the print has washed off of the cards. There's a lot of cards out there that do that. But understanding that digital is the way. Digital is why we focus and really put a lot of emphasis on the business card. But knowing with the business card, there's two aspects to your point. You are landing pages and business cards, or what you could call a business card and a personal card, something that's really branded to you for you to be able to go out and market. So there's so much opportunity here. We're excited that, free now is as powerful as a lot of other paid platforms. And so we're on a mission, and we encourage anyone who would also like to join the mission to get at least a free card into everyone's hands.
Yeah, I agree. And Guy, you talked about the business card side of things. You mentioned relationship management and light CRM. I think both of those two components are the strongest components within Shuffle as it relates to the networking side of things. And to your point on how much business cards are created annually and how much waste is involved in that process and lost opportunity, I would almost argue in a sense the same happens within our own networks and relationships. We are just not very efficient when left up to our own devices on how we create new relationships and how we manage existing relationships. And I think we see this in big business all the time. There's a reason why big businesses have interdepartmental software just to do CRM, customer or contact relationship management. And if you're lacking a solution to do that, there's really just opportunity falling through the gaps on a continual basis. And so Shuffle provides this area of contacts and networking that you can leverage through your mobile device or desktop to manage those relationships, to answer really the 5 questions we always say you need to know about every contact. Who are they? How do you know them? When have you interacted? What did you interact about? And when are you going to interact again? And if you can answer those 5 things about every one of the people you have a relationship with, it's so much more powerful, and you start capitalizing on opportunity instead of missing them. So big components within Shuffle that are going to support that, things like your notes section, and the ability, look, I still keep notes in a notebook, and I take photos of those notes and attach them to the contact online so I can quickly find that information so I can be empowered to go to the next interaction. And I know when that next interaction is happening because I'm getting notifications without even having to think about it of who I need to follow up with. And all of that's baked into this simple solution, which is so powerful. And then to your point, you talk about the marketing aspect. It's not just how I introduce myself and how people engage with that introduction and how I can curate what they're going to see about me, who I am, what I do, and how I can help them. It's about every marketing element that I want to get out, the landing page cards that I can create and share that are going to talk about my products or my services or the things that I support and stand behind. And then we break into the ways you share, right? And this is what I think is so powerful in today's environment. There are so many channels of communication that we have at our disposal right now. You can call somebody. How long has phone calls been around before? Maybe it was Morse code before that. You can email somebody. That's a 40-year-old technology on email. You can instant message people, text people, go into social groups. You can share information through device dropping airdrop or QR code scanning. Or now with this NFC technology, it's the most frictionless way to share information when you're in real life with somebody. To tap information direct to their mobile device is so powerful. And that's why we enabled this tap technology. But look, let's stop talking for a second, Guy. Let's open this up for anybody on the call right now who has an experience of using an Elify solution, either Shuffle or Tap, and what that sort of helped them accomplish. So Ruben, I see your hand up. I saw that go up first. Go on ahead, unmute yourself, contribute to the conversation. And then James, I see your hand up as well. We'll get to you next. Ruben, go ahead. Thanks for joining.
Thank you, Shuffle users. Thank you, Guy. I used your statistics on the number of printed cards for my opening presentation yesterday. And here's an observation I made. Behind me is a group every Friday morning that we meet with. Can you imagine being someone new, going into that room and trying to find a potential referral customer? Okay, they have business cards or whatever. The tap card and Shuffle is really a good solution here. The only aspect that I see this is the fact is it cost me $61 to fill my tank up in gas to get there. Yeah. Not only my cleaning bills, right now I'm on my sweats, but I had to wear a shirt, tie, whatever like that. There goes the cost of it again. Yeah. I know people want to meet people live. I see that. That's going to be something that's a cardinal rule, period. But this Zoom capability is really, how would I say, a complement to this live interaction. So my challenge to myself is, how efficient can I be in delivering and showing the value of Shuffle on Zoom so that I can reach more people after market when I meet them live in person? Thank you.
Yeah, Ruben, thank you so much for that. And I think you bring up a valid point, especially in this post-pandemic world, where we've gone from being offline and doing everything in real life and going to meetings and driving to locations and doing these things to pivoting 180 degrees to doing everything online. And I think what the future holds for everybody, and I think we're all coming to realize this, is it's going to be a combination of both. There's going to be things that we do offline and there's going to be things that we do online. And the reality is we're going to need a solution that supports both of those areas and empowers people to connect with people, to share information independently of if they're online or if they're offline. So Ruben, thank you so much for those comments, and continue to share online and network offline. You'll get power on both. James, thanks. Welcome to the conversation. Go ahead, my friend.
All right, thanks. Well, welcome Shuffle users, inventors, and progressors. So how does my experience with Shuffle help me? This week, I had a client reach out to me interested in getting some work done. Talk to them about the business card because I had my tap cards in hand. Her and her husband decided to meet with me because they said, we want the hard copy card right now. And they got their account set up. That same day, they called me back and said, we have two friends that were interested in getting the cards right now. One of which I met at a network event that night. Her and her husband said, we're going to get with you later on. We want to get this definitely. At that same event, several people, it was about 70 businesses there. Several businesses ran around. I said, let me get your card. I ran out of card. I said, you just lost your $1 billion client or connection. What are you talking about? Because you ran out of card. I never ran out of my card, my tap card. So I went around tapping everybody's card, told them to tap in. While I was there that night, sold another membership and another tap card on spot. Went to another networking event this morning, sat down talking with ladies and gentlemen. I just got started my business. I want this going on. Can I get your business card? I only have my old business card, but I have a new business. Well, I can't be a $1 billion client or connection because you don't have a card. Can I help you get a credit card? Can I help you get a business card right now? Yes. Tap their card. Oh my God, what is this? Well, tap that video, watch the rest of it. And at the end of the day, I'm gonna give you a call back so we can get your business card, get you up and running right now. What am I saying? What is the experience that I've had in tap in just this week? Because I was able to tap in and connect with other people. I was able to give them an idea that you run out of cards, but you never run out of tapping into information around it. Back to you guys.
Wow, James, what a great testimonial about your experience this week with just Elify solutions alone. And I think you bring up a valid point, right? If you go back to having things on a piece of paper, inevitably you run out of paper. To what Guy mentioned earlier, you may have to disregard all of your paper assets because some information has changed. Maybe you updated a phone number, or you updated an address, or you update a job title. There's so much power to use this technology on the fly, to have it on your mobile device, or to have that tap card in place to always be in a position to share. And I agree with you. How many times have we met somebody and literally their first impression to us is that they are unprepared, that they've run out of something, or that they have to write information down on a piece of paper? And you can be the person who highlights and increases your credibility with those individuals because you're prepared, because you're putting your best foot forward, because you're giving them something that highlights everything you want them to know about you. And then you're starting the relationship off on the right foot. And to James's testimonial there, how many of you would love to just add that many new prospects on a weekly basis coming in just by going to events and interacting with people, them seeing what you're doing and being blown away by the experience that you're creating for them. So thank you so much for sharing that, James. I'm going to move over to Anna here. Thank you, Anna, for joining the conversation. Look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you for being here every single week. You and Guy, I'm just, it's wonderful to work with people that have the kind of integrity and drive that you do, really. I just wanted to say, I post my QR code, I talk about the digital business card, but I also talk about Legal Shield. I'm working with business owners all the time. I give a 30-second testimonial because I believe less is more. But what a blessing it is when someone throws a question at you and you say, here's my business card, click on this link. And you're done, literally, until they go to your card. But Gal got the information she wanted, Facebooked me and said, hey, I'm ready to get started. And I think I need the home-based plan too. And then like 10 minutes later, she messaged me back and says, oh, by the way, you recommended that. But less is more whenever you can. But that QR code gives them the more without me being the message.
Thank you so much for that, Anna. I think it's a testament about being well prepared, right? It's not just about having business cards. It's about having other digital assets that support the things that you promote. It's about having landing pages that answer common questions or provide an overview so that it's easy to answer those common things with a quick QR code or tap of information or email or text message, so that that prospect can move forward in the customer journey. And now you're starting to generate more customers. You know, Guy and I are so thankful for you guys for, you know, even just some of the praise that you've given to us about what we do. I see the chat that Kathy posted, and it's so true. We are on a mission to connect the world. You know what I mean? We want to help people connect with other people. We want to help people share information with other people. We want to bridge that gap so that people can work together. At the end of the day, that's what Guy and I are so passionate about. And that's why we're creating these types of solutions, right? We're not trying to mirror all the other solutions that are out there. We're trying to make novel technology that can really make an impact in the everyday business function more accessible to everybody, and do it in a way where it's not going to cost an arm and a leg. So Anna, keep going. Go ahead.
Might try unmuting myself first. Expanding on what you're saying. Oh, it says I'm still muted. Okay. When you're in a network event, whether it's live or it's Zoom like this, you don't get a lot of time to talk, and you don't want to spend it all talking about what you offer. You want to be telling your testimony. By having this digital business card with the links on it, literally, you're giving them more without having to say the words. And if you think about that, it's better than saying, here, go to my website, go to this page, click on this, you know, that kind of thing. Literally, go to my business card, click on the link that says this, and you're done. And you can, I mean, you're also getting their information, right? So you have a follow-up. Let's get together. I'll give you a call on Wednesday. Okay, great. Off you go.
Yep, that's so powerful. And I think a lot of people miss that out, right? Everybody's looking for the one and done sale. And the reality is that sales don't happen that way. That's the few and far between exception rather than the rule. And I think a lot of people are saying, oh man, if I could just have more of those leads or more of those prospects, but then they're not willing to work it. You talk, Anna, just about that whole follow-up process and everything. We know it's 5 to 12 interactions that are going to result in the sale. And those interaction points can be everything from a meeting to a phone call to sharing additional information. But if you're not equipped to manage that, if you don't have a solution to manage that, then you're going to be working an uphill battle to accomplish it. But if you do start empowering yourself with technology, it's going to be a lot smoother of a process. And Anna, you talked about like the sort of the quick pitch, elevator pitch. And, when I'm talking to people all the time, you've got the 10 seconds to stand up. To your point, it's not about what we do or who we are. It's really about what we're trying to help other people accomplish. And I always say, look, we help other people generate new leads, right? You've got your business card, you've got your lead capture forms, all those things. We want to generate new leads. We want to convert more of those prospects, as we've heard from other people converting prospects in their business. And we want to boost people's revenue. That's what business is all about, right? We've got to generate more revenue in our business. So if you're looking to generate new leads, if you're looking to convert your prospects, if you're looking to boost your revenue, we do it all through a simple and easy to use solution. That's my elevator pitch. And usually when I open it up with that, people are like, well, I want to learn a little bit more. And that starts that conversation or that interaction.
Yeah,
so
that's really, the focus of my 30-second for Shuffle.
Yep.
Is really, I have, I've increased my prospecting by, I've quadrupled my prospecting. My, what do you call it? The actual business coming out of it is still new because I'm still new,
Yep.
But it's at the same level. And if I'm doing 4 times more prospecting, then I'm getting 4 times more activity. So it's just a matter of numbers. Thank you, James, for that.
Yeah, thank you, Anna, for that. Look, what a testimonial. How many of you guys seeing this would like to quadruple your prospecting like Anna has? You know what I mean? I don't think a lot of people out there are going to be like, nah, you know what? If I could just keep my prospecting even keel, it'd be great. No, we all want to boost our prospecting. So Kathy Inman, one of our master trainers over here, thank you so much for joining. Come on.
Hey, guys.
What your thoughts are. Good to have you.
Yeah, sorry, it's yard work day here, so you guys don't need to see me. My thing was the whole, like, we're trying to connect people, right? Is especially with the free card, is the offer that we have, when you meet somebody and you figure out that you have somebody that you know in common, and it immediately makes you go, okay, this person has more credibility because they know this person.
Mhm.
When I meet somebody networking and I'm able to go, oh yeah, not only do I know that person, I work with that person, I have their business card in my phone. It's another level of like, oh, wait a minute. What do you mean that you have their business card in your phone? And why don't you have my business card in your phone? So, it's just that whole like community, whether or not it's in Dallas or it's in Colorado or it's in wherever, right? You're just like, wait a minute, I have connections that are local, that are, national, that are international in my phone, and I know some people that you might know. It just makes it all feel like the world's not as big a place.
And it isn't. I mean, thank you for that, Kathy. It really isn't. When you think about how small the world is, it's because of that whole 6 degrees of separation that we all, in a way, know each other. And one of the things that I think you highlight, Kathy, there in your comments, and this really goes back to the networking side of Shuffle, is having people's information in a way where you can refer them business and get referred. Isn't that what networking is all about? And in the traditional analog model, it's like, here, take a few of my business cards, and then I'm going to hope and I'm going to pray that you're walking around with my business cards at the time you meet that person who you can refer me to business. And in the digital environment, the reality is we do have the capability to have every single person's business card in our pocket at the moment the time arrives where we could refer business. Now, that seems like an outflowing of support to support other people, but think about it in the converse, right? On the other side of the equation is, even with a free Shuffle account, we can empower everybody, our customers, our prospects, our network, to hold our card on their device so that when we become top of mind, they have our card readily available to refer us business. And when we talk about the best forms of marketing, and Guy mentioned that business card is the #1 marketing tool that every business person starts out with, right? It still is to this day, to the tune of 10 billion cards. Think about referral marketing, right? Word of mouth marketing, somebody who you've done business with or who knows you and is willing to stake their credibility on giving you a referral, and you being in a position to empower them to get out and share your information and do it in a way where they're not just talking about you, they're actually giving what you've curated to somebody else so that they can learn about who you are and what you do. I just think that that's so powerful. And when the world wakes up to what's available to them, we're going to see a massive movement and a massive shift into leveraging digital technology to really support networking. And we're not talking social networking, right? That's been the entertainment shift we've all been able to realize over the last decade. I'm talking about business social networking in a way. Now, James, I saw your hand go back up. Go ahead, my friend. Are you there?
There you go. I had to unmute myself. Okay, so since we're talking about out here networking and building up, I'm going to bring back about servers, people in the service industry. Everybody has a bartender, a hairstylist, a favorite server at a restaurant, and people in that area, whatever. I'm doing you an injustice, Guy. You being my best server, you being the best bartender I have, that I can't provide. I didn't provide you the best way to make sure you always get the tips you deserve. Yes, you have Cash App. Yes, you have Venmo, but not everybody has both of those. I'm going to show you how you can actually use a QR code that can sit here that will provide you with a way everybody can give you tips, referrals, and can leave reviews for your business, all in one stop, one shop. The best thing about it, Guy, is this. All you have to do is put it up here. You can put it on their phone because everybody's referring you, but they're not seeing what you're doing. Since you're my best hairstylist, you do the best cuts. I can't describe how well you cut my hair, but just looking at myself. But if I can actually take your digital card and share it to someone, it will provide you the assistance. So let me know when you're ready to receive more tips and more clients, and I'll be glad to show you how to do it. Something simple and easy. You all go to the same place. You go to, like I said, you go to the bar, you go to the stylist, you go wherever. Nobody can say they go one day without tipping somebody. The Uber driver, the Lyft driver, the person at the hotel. All of them are potential clients, but in order to get them into it, you got to tap the information to them. Back to you.
Yeah, and I think one thing that this can highlight, James, that you're talking about is really lowering the friction on how people engage with the things that we want them to engage with, right? If you're a person who receives tips and you only put out a jar, then only those people with cash are going to tip you. If there are multiple ways, like you talked about, Venmo and Cash App and all these other things, and you have a hub that's digital, that's stuck on your tip jar, that's a QR code that says, tip me, now you've given them a full variety of ways to take action on your request. Now you can take that same process and translate it over to all areas, right? If you want to book an appointment with me, here, scan this, download this, let me tap this to you, and I can make it easier for you to book your appointment. If you want to save my card or come back to my card or look at my monthly specials, I'm going to make it very easy for you to take action on that. We call that lowering friction. I know, Guy, there was a story we've heard from and referenced in the past, and it's called the $300 million button. And you guys can all take an opportunity to Google this if you want to, but it's about an e-commerce store online. And they realized that about 80% of their traffic was putting all these products into the shopping cart. They were going through the checkout process. They were getting to one of the final steps in the checkout process, and 80% of those customers were leaving. And they said, what's going on? Why aren't they completing the purchase? And so they went and they reviewed their process, and they realized that they were creating a massive amount of friction for their customers, because at that final step where everybody was leaving, they were giving their customers two options, right? Either to log into their existing account or to create a new account. But at the end of the day, it was tied to an account. A creative person on the team said, hey, let's give them a third option. Let's allow them to skip that step of either logging into an account or creating an account. Let's just go to checkout, pay now. And what they realized is when they added that button, it generated over $300 million in new annual revenue for that business. Now, think about this in terms of your business. How can you be lowering friction for your customers to do business with you, to book an appointment, to give you a tip, to refer you to somebody else? The easiest way to do that is to create a digital landing page that's going to empower them to take those steps, to refer you business, to pay you, to book an appointment, to learn about what you do. You can do all of that within Shuffle. A lot of people get stuck in this trap when they hear about Elify's Shuffle solution, that it's pitched to them as a digital business card, or their first experience is that it's a digital business card, and they don't realize, or they miss out on the whole marketing aspect that Kathy talks about on Tuesday trainings, right? Where you can come in and start creating all types of landing pages that will support different functions within your business. So you don't want to be missing out on all of the functionality within the Elify solutions. Okay, guys, we're gonna take an opportunity here, because I know we've heard from a few people, to sort of shift over and talk a little bit about something else. And it's the mission that Kathy talked about, that we're really on a mission to connect everybody. We're really on a mission to empower the world. I'm a sort of hippie environmentalist a little bit. I may not share it with everybody here, but there's this green initiative that I sort of feel strongly about, where I'm not a wasteful person. I hate the things that become or create all of that waste. I know there's a place for the physical business card or other print collateral, but let's think about what Guy was talking about here. If 90% of 10 billion cards that are created every year are going to go directly in the trash can within 7 days of being received, we might as well just throw them in the trash can the moment we get them printed. Think about this, guys, right? That's 9 billion out of 10 billion, 9 billion cards just going into the landfill. And here we can shift that over and start making an environmental impact. But here's the other side of me, the capitalist side of me, right? The capitalist side of me says, I want to generate more business. I want to generate more revenue. I want to generate more prospects. I want to convert more of those prospects into customers. And I want to do it in a way that lowers the friction for those people. The best way to do that, leverage digital technology. So we're on a mission to spread that offering around the world to people. And what we're doing is we're asking for your help in helping us accomplish that. And when you help us spread the word about this, here's our offer to you guys. We want you to get paid to share. We want you to get paid a portion of the revenue that your referrals generate for us. Now, Guy, you and I would always talk about the old Facebook story. And I think here's a great opportunity to share that story. For those of you who don't know some of the history of Facebook, it started out at the college level. You needed to have a university email address. And at first it was Harvard, then the other Ivy League schools, then it waterfalled out to really a lot of the university population before going out to the masses. And I was one of those first early adopters. So I came in, somebody had invited me to join Facebook. I put in my university ID, and I was starting to create my online profile. Before that, it was MySpace and all of these other social places. And Facebook said, great, connect with all your friends. And when I looked on there, there were only a few thousand people on Facebook. And you're sitting there going, well, not all of my friends are on here, just like not everybody in the world is on Elify. Not everybody in the world knows about Elify, right? So Facebook, what did they do? They gave me one task. They said, if your friends aren't on here to connect, invite them to join. Show them the value of social media. Show them the value. And at that time, we didn't even have walls or anything like that. You had a profile. Think about that, a profile. And so what did I do? Pulled up my email list, pulled up all this other stuff, and sent out those invites. Those people came in, they repeated the process, and the rest is history. Here you have a company with 3+ billion users worldwide, all of which were invited by a group of previous users who liked the technology. And you know what that resulted for Mark Zuckerberg, the board of Facebook, all of the shareholders? A ton of revenue and advertising that came in based on the network that all of us who are on Facebook today built. And how much, this is the question, how much is Facebook paying you right now for the people that you brought into Facebook? Right? A big, big goose egg. Unless you're a shareholder and seen your value go up or something like that, you weren't getting any benefit outside of the social benefit of what their model is doing. So Guy, when you and I were thinking about that, we said, let's turn it on its head. If we've got a model that goes out and supports businesses and creates new business revenue for them, and our users, our existing users who've had an experience, want to share that with other businesses and they come on our platform, we would gladly give them a stake, a claim in that revenue generation. And not just based on their direct referral, the direct invite, the direct bringing of somebody in, but on multiple degrees of separation as it waterfalls out. Just like Facebook waterfalled out. So Anna, I saw your hand go up. We're going to talk a little bit about in a second here, Elify's affiliate program and how we can spread this to the masses. Now you can participate in that, but I saw your hand up. So come on, join the conversation.
Okay. I just want to make a mention. You were talking about paper, a business card. Well, we give out a lot of marketing collateral too. Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of us have been, downloading or sending links to that kind of thing. But when you think about using a digital business card, you can actually put your collateral on there, right? And they can see it anytime they want just by pulling up your card.
Yep.
They do not have to download it and keep it. They're not interrupting their storage. They have access to it all the time. And when you update it, they know it's updated because they get notified. So we're doing it on a larger scale than just business cards.
Oh, so true, Anna, so true. And I think the other thing that most people miss out on is if you're talking about a physical print collateral, that has a singular purpose, right? They've got to have that out in front of them to absorb it. But when we talk about digital content, and this is something I learned over 20 years ago, this stuff is live, active, and available 24/7. It's doing its purpose even when you're sleeping. Like, think about that. If I post my a landing page about some offering in a Facebook group and then go to bed that night, all night long, anybody who's being exposed to that, it's like having a digital billboard with eyeballs in cars driving by all of the time. Now you have to put it or post it or share it in a place where those eyeballs are going to be, but hands down, pound for pound, it's going to outperform a print asset, in my opinion, every time. And I think that's what's so powerful. And to your point, it's always accessible. They can come back to it and view it at any time. It's updatable and editable. So you can come back and create and change it without having to change the link or repost it anywhere. And you can measure and get notified when people are interacting with it. It's not like the piece of paper folds itself into an airplane, flies back to me and said, somebody read it. You know what I mean? It's just not happening. And I think that's the thing that a lot of people overlook, and why you can hear it in my voice, why we're so passionate about really spreading the word about this, about getting the word out there and showing people that there's a better way. There's a better way, and it's not this insurmountable high learning curve above and beyond most people's area of expertise. These are things that if you're not a coder, if you're not a programmer, a designer, a tech guru, you can still leverage this technology and do it in a way that the learning curve isn't that insurmountable. About as much learning as it takes to create a Facebook profile, to come in and start creating your content and start using templates and start building and sharing things out. You just have to have a willingness to learn a little bit and then to apply what you learned to best promote and support what you're doing. So that's what I think is so powerful about that. And as I said, we're on a mission to really share that with the rest of the world. So Guy, we're going to take an opportunity to talk a little bit about our affiliate program. But before we do, I'm going to throw it over to you. Go ahead.
There's a couple real world examples that I want to point out that we're seeing are getting traction. We're getting pulled into a lot of these conversations. To Ruben's point, I know Ruben, you run a networking group. Kathy runs a networking group. People are participating and going to these networking groups. I know Kathy, we had a conversation, and when she's going into her networking groups and to get the exposure of Shuffle, and especially free, she's walking in, they're having their registration desk or whatever right there. They have a QR code, and it's basically, this is what you need to get started with registration. And it's creating their free card. That's all it does. And people are in there, and then it's a simpler process when they're getting into towards the end, when you're mingling with each other, you're just sharing people's business cards right there. So the free is a phenomenal route that is getting traction right now. I have a very close friend who manages a investment firm. And they've got a large group of investors, and they work in the real estate space. But he reaches out to me and saying, okay, we need to make sure that we're up to date with all of our investors. Our investors need to know what is happening. And their giveaways at this year's meeting is going to be some tap cards. The tap cards are going to be holding their prospectus on the forecast on what's happening. It's basically going to have their PDF presentation provided to each individual, and then they're talking to each individual how to then turn that into their own to go off. And because a lot of these are real estate investors, they're real estate flipping or buy and flip home type things. So they're out there trying to gain more clients and contacts as well. And then another place, it's happening all around the United States right now. We're in a political cycle. We're getting Republicans, Democrats, independents utilizing the solution, and we're seeing them do it in a way where they're coming in and creating 3 cards. They're creating a card about themselves, they're creating a card about their policies, and they're creating a video landing page on donations, on looking for donations to hopefully help them get on the ballot and those different types of things. But when we think about the political cycle, there's political cycles that happen every 6 months or so, every year. You're talking school board becomes political. You're talking, every 2 years you get into Senate races. You get into presidential every 4 years, but you can start at grassroots level to help those individuals who are thinking about becoming politics. God save them. I don't want to participate in that, but make sure that they're able to get their information out when they're doing town hall meetings and those different types of things. And people can really understand and more about them and takes them offline as well. So when they're done at that event, the individuals that's scanning or tapping can reach out to them and maybe have a deeper conversation on their policies and why vote for you and why I should be sending information to all of my friends and family and anybody that I've got clout with. So as real world examples, those are things that are happening right now within Elify.
I think based on that, Guy, this is something that is a point that I don't think can be understated. It's the variety of uses that you can be empowered with when you're leveraging Shuffle and when you're using an Elify solution, right? When I think landing pages, and there's a marketing piece or component to Shuffle that allows you to build a landing page. Think about it. How many pages are there out on the internet right now? Trillions, hundreds of trillions of pages that people have been creating since the 90s, and Shuffle has an easy solution to allow you to build a landing page about anything, political, investment prospectus, anything under the sun that somebody might be doing. We talk about nonprofit promotion. We talk about our business products or services. There's so many different uses. And this is something that I love so much when we host the free Tech Tuesday at 2 Central every Tuesday. Every time we're on that collective conversation as a community, it sparks new ideas of other uses. I can use it for this, or I can use it for that, or I can use it for that. And it's all because a card can represent a landing page, a business card, and anything in between. And I think that that's so powerful. I think the other thing that you talked about just there, Guy, that I think we really want to take an opportunity to focus on is some of the strategies on spreading the word about Elify and Shuffle. We see a lot of people who focus on the one-to-one, right? I want to share this with an individual because I'm sharing my information. They became interested in how I was sharing it and what tools I'm using. And I'm going to go and help and support that individual on really understanding and learning more about Elify and the solutions that are available. But then you brought up the point of one-to-many. And I think that that's a huge overlooked opportunity for a lot of people who are looking for this type of thing and helping us accomplish our mission of spreading the word, is that business networking type of scenario where there are many people who are all in need of this solution, and we can get in front of and share this information with them all at one time. Now, Anna, before I go along, I see your hand up. Go on ahead.
Just really quickly, because Guy triggered something really big for me. And I was looking at going in on an individual basis kind of deal, because I know a lot of legislators and I'm involved in that advocate activity a lot. But here's the deal. If you know of organizations and associations that have legislative committees, they are actively trying to keep their members updated on the specific bills and actions that are happening that are in their interest. Mm-hmm. And I think about that because they can change it on the fly, and they can also put out a request for send an email, call your legislator and have that link right there, and just and then when they don't need it, they pull it off for a while. But think of that for associations with thousands and thousands of members, that they're able to share that information through a digital business card. And they could have a card for each right. Bill.
Yeah, absolutely. To that point, I live in a fairly populated county in Colorado, and we know on one spectrum there's 70,000 registered voters for the one side of the political aisle. And knowing that there's 70,000, the group within Colorado that controls everything and gets information out, of those 70,000, they only have 10% of active information of those 70,000. So they don't know all 70,000 people, or how to get a hold of them, or how to reach out to them. And, that's a mission that we're working towards, helping each one of those groups statewide, nationwide, be able to make sure that they're getting the right information out, the most relevant information out to the people that they need to get the information out to.
Yeah, I think there's just so much power that Shuffle, Elify, Tap can enable for all different types of groups and verticals. And I think that's one of the things as part of this conversation that we're really trying to get everybody to understand. And if you have an idea on how Shuffle or Tap can support a group, we want your help in spreading that information and empowering and helping other people. And as I mentioned,
That's why I love Fridays. I'm
Say again?
here every Friday because you guys expand my brain every time.
I love it, Anna. And I think that's it. We want to expand everybody's mind. That's the goal, right? We want to show them that there is a path and is a way that they can leverage technology to support what they're working on, what they're passionate about, what their mission is. And we want to do it in a way where they all capitalize on it, right? We want to pay them on any memberships that they bring in or generate for us. And that's really sort of what we want to talk about in closing here in the last few minutes. You know, that Elify created an affiliate program for that purpose alone. We're huge proponents of entrepreneurship, of really leading a life by design. About the three pillars we talk about of freedom, right? Are not just financial freedom, but also the time freedom and the location freedom. And this is something that anybody, anywhere can participate in. If they have access to an online group or an offline group that they're willing to share our information with, and we are willing to support them in doing that, we want them to participate in what results from that effort and how it waterfalls out. So we've made an affiliate program that pays you to share. It doesn't just pay you one time, it pays you residually for that effort. So you get a customer, you get paid for the life of that customer. I think that it's a critical component of any type of business model is residual income or residual revenue. And then it's not just going to allow you to just get paid on your efforts. It's going to do what most businesses do, which is leverage others and allow you to get paid on those efforts. So as it waterfalls out from you, you're also capitalizing on that opportunity. So we want to invite you guys to explore the affiliate program, learn a little bit more about how you can get paid to share, how you can activate your affiliate status, how you can grab your referral links and share that information out, how you can share videos like this with other people so that they can learn about Elify and what we stand for and what we're working on, how you can invite others to come to these types of things and learn a little bit more. And Anna, to the point that you made earlier, Guy and I are so passionate about what we're working on and what we're doing that we are happy to get on a one-on-one phone call with somebody just to support helping them leverage the technology to the fullest, because we know the power behind that. But what we're reliant on, and really this is the truth, what we're reliant on is we're reliant on our customers, the people who've experienced Elify for itself, the community, the solutions, the results, to go out and share that with their sphere of influence, to let other people know. To date, we've been doing this for a decade, everybody. And to date, we have not done any form of direct marketing. We've relied 100% on our customers and our raving fans, our brand champions, to go out and talk about Elify with the rest of the world. And we want to continue to lean into you guys because we truly believe that high tide raises all ships. Guy, you talked about briefly the political spectrum and the opportunity there and all these other verticals, the business networking vertical. Here's the reality. There are hundreds of millions, just alone, hundreds of millions of businesses, small businesses making up a majority of those registered businesses around the globe. Shuffle and Elify and Tap are solutions that can be leveraged by anybody, independent of where they're at, as long as they have access to the internet. We want to empower those people. 99% of the world does not know about us yet. We're on a mission to make and change that. And this is your opportunity to be in on the ground floor of that, to be an early adopter like you are right now, and to help us introduce this to the rest of the world. And when you do that, we want to bring you along for that ride. Guy and I have no desire to be Mark Zuckerberg or Scrooge McDuck sitting on our piles of gold here, counting it up. Our goal is to distribute that wealth out to everybody that helps create it, that helps generate that revenue. So if that's something that interests you, again, we've had our QR codes up this entire time. These things have direct access to our information. Other members have had that up as well. Make sure you're connecting with those people and connecting with each other, truly networking with each other to really bring this to the masses. So Guy, with that being said, I know we're at the top of the hour. I'm going to throw it over to you to close this thing out. I'm happy to stick around a little bit longer if we want to do a Q&A session after we stop the live, but I want to end in saying thank you to you. Thank you for giving us just a little bit of your time on a Friday. I know you guys all contributed some time today to join us or watch this, or maybe you're watching this in a replay. If you've made it this far, guys, thank you. I think time is the most valuable resource that we have, and the fact that you've given some of that to us, I'm truly grateful for. So with that being said, I want everybody to have an amazing weekend. Go out, will, skill, and refill. We're going to be doing some events next week. We do 4 every week. We do our Monday sprint planning, 10 a.m. Mountain Time. We do our Tuesday Tech Tuesday at 2 p.m. Central. We do a Thursday call, roundtable mastermind discussion at 10 a.m. Mountain Time on Thursday. And then this call on Friday. We encourage you, share these things out, invite other people to join. So Guy, with that being said, over to you to close this thing out.
Appreciate that. We appreciate every one of you. And to that will, skill, refill, we'll say it. Happy Easter to everybody. Have a great weekend. Have a great week next week. Get plugged in. If you've got people who are interested, invite them to these. They don't have to be on the application right now to join these. Just come learn, see what we're giving away to you for free, for examples, for ideas, for ways to use the technology, and ultimately how to level up if that's something you're looking for on additional income. So from ER, myself, everyone else here, have a great rest of your Friday, great weekend, and we'll talk soon.